it's a historic and condemnable irony that the people most responsible for harming children in this country in so many ways have once again found an innovative way to do so. As you may or may not be aware at this point, we have a number of shortages going on throughout the United States at the moment. And perhaps chief in importance among those shortages right now is baby formula. Now, this is a bigger problem than it might seem like on the surface, because there's a lot of kids out there who desperately need it. Some babies can't thrive on breast milk. Some mothers can't breastfeed. There's a whole host of reasons, but formula is incredibly important, and unfortunately right now it's running very low. But guess what, folks? Just because you and I can't get a hold of it doesn't mean that nobody gets some. Not at all. Get this, a Florida lawmaker named Kat Kamek came out last week and broke the news that pallets and pallets of formula are going down to the southern border to be given to illegals. Now, my head didn't explode the first time I read that, only because I wear a cowboy hat, but I can tell you that my blood started boiling. It really did. It pissed me off, because I don't know what the hell's wrong with these people. It's like every morning, every member of the Biden administration gets together and tries to determine what's the dumbest, most anti-American thing they can do, and then they commit to doing that very thing. Kamek commented, and I happen to agree, this is what America last looks like. Now, let's explore this concept for just a minute, because I want you to understand in no way do I think that babies down at the border don't deserve some formula. I have no doubt that the left is going to spin this that way if the story breaks big enough for it to really make a splash in the media. Conservatives, they're going to say they hate migrant children. They want them to starve to death. It's going to run something like that. And the answer is a resounding no from me. So I'm sorry, lefties. I've been to other countries besides this one and put food in the mouths of people who were in dire straits. I've earned the ability to disagree with what you're doing here. But even if I hadn't, the simple fact is that caring about the needs pervading one's own country ahead of the needs of other countries is normal. And you're going to have to pay really close attention to get this. Listen up, lefties. It's even a sympathetic gesture in the direction of those less fortunate from the other lands, and here's why. When we care enough about fixing our own problems internally, and then we actually do it, we make this land the place that it once was, a hotbed of opportunity and plenty, which overflows to such an extent that those in other countries benefit from that overflow. This coming out of our collective cup. You've heard me say many times, the light that shines the farthest away shines the brightest right at home. That's how it works, folks. You can't start externally and move inward. On a more personal note, let me say this. When November comes around, folks, there's an awful lot of things that I want you to remember as you move your happy ass through the voting line towards that magnificent ballot kiosk. Maybe chief among them is how the government, your government, not only didn't do a dadgum thing to prevent or fix a shortage on food that is vital to our youngest and most vulnerable members of the population, but in fact, they went above and beyond in the effort to toss up the middle finger at those kids by giving their food to other children from elsewhere. I got a feeling the reckoning is coming. We're working on a new... lack of better terms, a little comedy troupe. We're doing some sketch videos and stuff like that, and putting some stuff out there. Doing it with Sarah Gonzalez and nice. Cassidy Campbell and Alex Stein. And we did one, the first one, the inaugural videos about this baby shortage, dealing in baby formula. The baby formula shortage. Kind of doing a little drug deal. It's pretty funny stuff. But anyway. That'll be coming out pretty soon, this week actually. But this kind of thing, I read through this stuff and it's all ridiculous. We could talk about how many people on food stamps and WIC and all that stuff. They are supposed to be able to go get the baby formula. There's only 3 companies making baby formula, and they're all determined by what the government subsidies are there and stuff. I mean, you dig into this kind of thing deep. I can't believe we're talking about baby formula. But this is a friggin' mess.
Well, it's not the only, but you understand how prominent that it is. Obviously, when you're dealing with a vulnerable population that people care so much about, which they should, completely understandable. It has to be something like that for people to kind of start paying attention to it.
Yeah.
But this is an issue of government, and I'm not trying to say this as a cliche. It's just a reality. Like with what you just talked about, with it being only these few companies, and those few companies are the ones subsidized by the state and all of that. The fact that there are leftists in this country that act like we have any semblance of what they deem as a free market is laughable.
If you enjoyed this video, hit like and subscribe to our channel so you'll be sure to see similar videos from Blaze TV with the added bonus of signaling YouTube that your voice and opinion still matters. And if you're looking for more great conservative content, check out one of the 2 videos suggested here.